And yeah, I'll just give a small intro and then we can start.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So just request everybody to mute themselves. Although I'm going to mute everybody, just that you keep it on mute so everybody can hear. Otherwise, there's an echo that comes on. Okay. Welcome everybody to another webinar of I Love Homeopathy. My name is Karthik. We started I Love Homeopathy way back in 2010, and we've been sharing information since then. It's wholly sponsored by Bahula Labs, which manufactures homeopathic medicines. Which at the end of the webinar you'll get a link. So if you want to, you can go register yourself for a doctor's account, and you can buy homeopathic medicines at good prices. Anyway, uh, this evening we have Dr. Yamini with us. She's a very experienced homeopath. She studied under all the leaders of homeopathy, Dr. Sarkar, Dr. Shankaran, Dr. Jayesha, and I think the main reason that she's able to succeed is because she uses a lot of other alternative alternative techniques like holistic techniques. I wouldn't say alternative techniques, holistic techniques like meditation in her approach to healing. She runs an online and an offline school where she teaches homeopathy. So from that you understand she's actually passionate about sharing information. She's got this Asha Homeopathic Academy, so which you can always contact her. She's got a lot of offline courses, online courses, which you can join after. I'm sure a lot of you will join her after hearing her speak. With this, I'll hand over the mic to Dr. Yamini. Dr. Yamini?
Yes, Mr. Karthik. So thank you so much for your kind words and the nice introduction. And I want to congratulate you and I Love Homeopathy. You are doing amazing job by sharing this full knowledge and gathering so many different homeopaths who are sharing their knowledge and wisdom. So that's a great job.
Thank you.
And Acha, I have one query. I can see this video view. So should I hide that? Hide video view, and then I start
No, I,
on my
I didn't
screen.
I didn't understand.
So yeah, I did it. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Right.
So shall I start?
Please.
Okay, thank you so much. So, good evening, everyone, and good morning, good afternoon to all of those who are not in India, elsewhere, and hello. So, today I'm going to share some cases with all of you, of course, from the mammal remedies, and then I will tell you how to understand mammal remedies through cases and what are their themes. I hope you will enjoy this sharing and presentation. So these are all our lovely mammals. Okay, so I'll start with a case because from a case you can understand much better. So this is a case one, and it is a case of a young chap who's 24 years old. His chief complaint was acidity and heartburn with a lot of anxiety, and main problem which he had was he was not able to focus on his job. And he says that from last 6 to 8 months I'm feeling like this anxiety and acidity is happening. And then he told me that my brief background is I did not go to college. So right now he's 24 years old, and he said I started my own startup. He is into a business, and he started his own company at the age of 19 years, and then he shifted to Hyderabad. So he said, while joining, I was pretty sure that it was paying handsome. And so I joined because of the family responsibilities. He had some financial issues at home. His father went bankrupt, and the business has lot of loss from the side of his father. So he joined this company at the age of 19 and he left the college. Later, he said, I started feeling lonely. I feel helpless. Don't know what to do about it. And then he said, I'm interested into some stupid intellectual stuff. Only minority group understands it. I find that i find people very stupid to understand what I speak. So I don't want to talk to them. Only few people can understand my thoughts, and that's why I don't talk to anyone like this. I choose people and then I start speaking to them. It's not that I'm superior. He said, it's not that I'm superior. I have ego problem. Not at all. But it's a fact that they don't understand. They won't understand my thoughts. They are so mediocre. And then he said, I'm not mediocre. Then he told me that I had a relationship. So he belongs to a place in India called Nagpur, and he's now living into Hyderabad. And he said I had a relationship at my hometown, but I left that girl because of some reason. I feel lonely. I can't talk to someone. So I asked him, what do you feel when you say lonely? So he said, I feel this hollowness in the chest. There is something hollow. And then in Hindi, he said, काम में meaning नहीं था. In my job, there was no meaning. I couldn't find meaning in my work. So he used to feel worthless. I was not able to feel belonging to the work, was not a part of it. So I left it. I didn't find the space. I was finding out. So this feeling and anxiety started with work. This happens with me that I do not find meaning in things and start detaching myself, or I just get bored of those things and I just, leave. So, and then he said, I feel dragged. There is a dragged feeling as if I have to push myself for doing all this stuff. His sleep was also disturbed. There is little numbness in hands and legs, could not feel happy, could not feel sad. So he is a kind of, neutral person who was not able to feel anything. Lack of energy. And he said, metaphorically, there is one shell which I cannot break. So I am getting lazy and lazy. No energy, no passion to do anything. And then he stopped and I asked him that what is bothering you the most? He said, I'm not able to find the meaning, energy which I had. Suddenly it is absent. And I have had this guilt. And it's coming like a snowball effect. Do you know what snowball effect is? That when the things just pile up and it becomes big, just like a snowball. I don't find people around me who can understand the stuff which I am going through. So I cannot share with them. So I have two personalities inside me. One is logical and other is completely irrational. So like I will tell you, when I started working at 19 years of age, I convinced this investor, he had a big investor. Okay. So one is logical and other is completely irrational. Like I will tell you, when I started working at 19 years of age, I convinced this investor and he has invested 6 crores in my startup. I was very happy working, and it was all logical and rational according to society, my needs, etc. And the second personality in me, which which I have, I should not have left the job, but I left. Also, that startup, but I did that. The second person is completely insane. So then I didn't get the right feeling. So I left the job. I find myself more artist than a businessman. And I tell you, doctor, if I stop earning, everything will be messy. Completely everything will be stopped. My father's business is not good. So my decisions will impact their life. Also, somewhere I need to satisfy they are my parents. Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you, Dr. Yamini. We just can't see you. I think
Okay. You can't see me because yeah, it's not showing my camera.
we can see you. We can see your slides. Yeah,
Okay, you can see my
now we
slide.
can
No,
see you. Yeah, yeah, we can see you.
okay, right. I'll go ahead. So then he said, my father's business is also not good. My decisions impact their life. So I need to satisfy them somewhere. And in starting, I was
I
mad.
need to satisfy.
firmly, I had this belief that if I am not getting value education, why should I continue? So when he was in college, he just left the college because he thought that it's not that valuable. I was more focused on my growth, but later I did job because I had to look after the family's responsibilities. I feel there should not be plan B. So I burned that whole option. So he left his college in the first year only because he thought that there is no meaning of keeping a plan B. So I should not continue. And he started his business at when he was in 10th class. In college, I didn't get anything to learn. So I was always in this dilemma. And inside me, we all have this inner compass. He told me about this inner compass, which tells you the right direction. But now, in my case, I don't believe that anymore. Or one can say it's confusing me. So in earlier situation, it was not that frightening for me. It was okay. The situation was still under control. But now I'm getting very, very anxious. You can say that it is my existential crisis. I overthink a lot. Then I asked him about his work, and he said that my first company was of an organic clothing store, and the store was in USA. So he was supplying from India. The store was in USA. It was an organic clothing company. I thought it was stable, and then we started second company. So while running the first company, he started the second one. But in second project, a lot of legal problems happened, and he left that profile. Then I went to Hyderabad for online software business. I did not have any work. I don't know about this, but I understand inner psychology, philosophy. So he had a lot of interest in all these type of things, psychology, philosophy. I have a lot of interest in learning people's behavior and understanding that. So I found that my colleagues and partners had different interests. Their point of interest was different than me. It was very weird for me. I also feel that I offend people easily because I'm very straight. I'm straightforward. Then he said, I in Hyderabad, I was not able to talk to people. I'm very reserved. I don't find any meaning in deep relationships because when you're not able to talk, when you're not able to understand what is the meaning of a deep relationship. And I hate small talks, doctor. I used to hate time pass, and these type of talks were wasted of time. So I couldn't handle all that. My colleagues used to talk shit about others, and I was not very happy in that situation. So these people whom I was working with used to waste that time, and I didn't like that at all. So now I'm thinking to quit from this job also. So he's thinking to quit the current job as well. So this company which I'm working for is an online software company, and I was working as a freelancer for them because I have a lot of responsibilities of my family and for family. Only I chose this job because financial issues were there. And slowly my focus is getting lost. I'm becoming more anxious, not liking it, no interest in doing anything. I always did productive work. I didn't like 9 to 5 job. So, in childhood also, people used to mock at me because my interests were different. I fought with people. And when I asked him, what is your experience in the situation when people used to mock at you? So he told me it feels completely rejected, secluded, and not so important. Alone in a group. Though you are in a group, but you're alone because we had this financial crisis. I had this inferiority complex, and in the childhood where when his father had this financial problem when he was in 10th class, this bank people used to take goods from the for the loans. They have made my father defaulter. I have seen all these things in my childhood. In childhood, I was in a good school. Then father lost all his money in business. Maybe because of that, I started my business early. I don't know. Intellectually, people made me realize that I'm different. I am intelligent. So now I had something which was different, and I could have told them that, see, I'm superior than any one of you. So it kind of increased my confidence. And then he talked a lot about social hierarchy. It's always like this, doctor. The more intelligent people get something in their life, the less intelligent or people who are not good at it, of course, they are mocked at and things like that. And then he said, I can't bear fake people, fakeness. I don't like this. But still, at the same time, I feel I'm a racist in a way because from southern India, from central India. He went to south of the India, and he said, I couldn't connect to these Telugu people. They're very dominating, and that time also I felt that I'm a racist kind of person. I can't bear fake people. So he cannot bear this domination. So in philosophy of politics, I like socialist or communist theory, where they just don't bully people. Everyone is equal there. I mean, considered equal and important. So I believe in that, but personally, I couldn't follow that. I don't want to work under anyone because that is creatively restricting for me. I don't like someone bossing around me. I don't like bosses. I don't like structure and pattern. I have this rebellious nature. I don't feel worthy. That sense of ownership should be there. And then I asked him, what do you feel when you see structure? When you say structure, sorry for the spelling mistake. And then he said, I'm very competitive. For example, my father is bringing these many chocolates for me and not that many. So, I used to compare everything. In childhood, also, I used to, ask him, "Itne chocolates kyun nahi laye? Why you didn't bring that many chocolates?" In company, also, I saw that, they're not valuing me. So I felt competitive inside. This is my basic nature. I will compete. I can't help it, doctor. Somewhere I'm extremely ambitious. Maybe because of that, this has given myself a reason to think why I am better or why I should be better. And I feel inferior often. I recently I approached a girl. I was hell scared, and culturally also there was a lot of change. So, but I was very scared. And also, I'll tell you that I was a weird guy in third and fourth standard. I used to feel that because I used to feel that I am a weird guy because I had a big head. So I used to cry a lot. I was a, cranky baby crying. I was a loner kind of since childhood. When I came to Nagpur, maths teacher used to punish me a lot. In social studies, I was good. So that time also he felt rejected. When I asked about the experience, he said, I feel rejected and felt like crying. My chest feels shallow. I like self sympathy. I mean, I used to pity myself that, oh, I had a big head and that, this. And, and when I told him to, give me an experience of this feeling self sympathy, feeling pity, he gave me this image. He said, when I close my eyes and think about it, I always see a school, my school, where there were two grounds. One is a big ground, a playground, and one was a small one. So in that ground, I can see, one birthday guy. They used to brought some chocolates, but they didn't give to me. So that time also, I used to feel that they are not involving us because we were outsiders. So same feeling I have right now also, that you're not involved, you're not included in the group. And about experience, he told that shallow, lonely feeling, pain, which you want to cry out. It's more of irritating inside. And he gave an image of a small puppy whose mother is not there. And then he said he is completely lonely, nowhere to go, no place which he can call home, no people, no language to communicate. And that is the biggest problem. So by nature, he said, I'm a reserved person. I feel heavy. I want to go somewhere alone and stay there. Solitude. I really like solitude. It recharges me. I feel free, light, freedom. And when I feel free, I feel very blissful. I feel like sharing. I can share my design. And if I am designing something, I feel free. So energy is coming outside. It's trying to find its way. Physically, this whole experience is out of body experience, he said. And initially, when he was in Hyderabad, I was good. It was freelancing, so I was enjoying it. And he said, I can't stay indoors for long. And I see people, I choose them, I see their philosophy, whether, they can see the life as a third party experience or not, whether they can see life as a big experiment or not. What are their values, ethics? And I don't feel like hurting people. I don't like negative energy, but sometimes I feel angry, and there are always two thoughts in my head. I get negative emotions. I don't like impressing others. And this power game, but I feel like doing it. Oh, I don't like to do it, but from inside it comes that you should do it. Can you see, there is a whole theme which is emerging from our case. And then he told me about what he craves. That was chocolate, coffee, tea, and sweets. Sometimes I feel like eating tangy, spicy food, but when I eat that, it decreases my clarity. The clarity of thought goes away, so I avoid it. He loves meditation, and he said in meditation that empty state comes. I feel very calm, and I feel that we should do something for society. And in past history, he had the tonsillectomy, jaundice, and something like that, and also now anxiety, fear of poverty, fear of insects, fear of creepy animals, stings, and also heights are there. Fear of public embarrassment was very, very strong in him. Opposite gender, he said, I become very highly conscious about myself, and I think in my mind that are they approving of me is very important. Current relationship which I am into, he is into a relationship with a girlfriend. So he said, it started because everyone had one girlfriend, so I wanted one. It was not like that, it was needed and I loved her or she loved me. I just wanted one. If I see females of my age, I become very conscious, and some part of me wants approval of them, approval of women. So I'm confused about the whole relationship. I don't feel like talking. I don't trust people, and my main feeling is of rejected, not included, loneliness, not trusted, duality, and confusion. And also, I feel one part of myself is so disgusted. I don't like that. And then when I asked him about the spirituality, he said, I have immense interest in spirituality. I love going inside. I just love that. So in all these years, I had this confusion in my mind because I have worked extremely hard for my family. You can say that to get that approval of the people or family, I have tried very hard. And sometimes I feel I should think about myself. I should live with my own space, my things, my meditation, my growth. And at second moment, this thought comes to my mind that no, I should do for my family. So this is an ongoing process, a cycle kind of. I feel pity for puppies, helpless people. I don't like that. And finance is very important in his life. Intellect is very important. That society needs to understand you. Ancestrally, we come from a Dhobi caste. So, for those who doesn't know what is Dhobi, that's a washerman family. So, this is a caste which he belongs to. And then he said, I really like Panda, watching Panda's videos. Often I watched their videos. It brings playfulness in my life. I like to play. And deep down, he said, I hated society, but also it is effective. Ruthless at micro level, but that's the way it works. This happens in MNCs, and then he gave the example of MNC. He said that the aim is survive. They need to apply method of averaging, try to find middle ground. The level of people who survive in this environment is average. They don't take risks. They start corrupting it. They create a deadlock. So he said, in MNC, what happens is they take average people who are not ready to take the risk because they don't want it, and they create a deadlock. They did that stuff which was not logical later. So this kind of site can be experienced only if you have people around it. So I don't like this culture, and I don't want to work there. I don't like the what MNCs does. It's a culture of exploitation where one cannot attain its full potential. They are restricted through hierarchy, and you are not getting your due position. So they give you some work, but you are not able to attain your full potential. So can anyone think about any remedy? I'll tell you what I have given, but if you can write in the chat box. Okay, so lac caninum, very good. So of course it is a mammal webinar, so it will be a mammal remedy, but I'll tell you my thinking pattern. So, when he started talking about it, um, of course, I was thinking about the animal remedies only slowly when this theme emerged, but I was also thinking about reptile, whether it could be a reptile or mollusk or mammals. Lacan, yeah, okay. So, sorry. So finally, I gave him lac humanum 1M, and I'll tell you that yes, Geosta, you're right. You're saying family and group. So I will tell you the remedy and then the themes. So I have given lac humanum 1M to this person, and I will tell you the follow-ups first. So in January 2020, the first follow-up, he did much better. The anxiety was gone completely, and he said, "I have a lot of clarity of thoughts." He left his job, which he was thinking whether he should leave or not, and he said, "I'm able to focus more." He's into a new business. He's also, taking some online courses and reading and studying now. So no sleeplessness, which was there, and no acidity at all. And I gave only one dose, and again I gave SL for 1 week. Then recently, in the last week only, I had a last week I had a follow up, and he said that little acidity is coming up, and I'm not able to focus on anything. So from January to June, there was nothing. He was much better, but recently, one bout of acidity came, and also little anxiety. So I gave one more dose of lac humana, and on 4th July, I again took a follow-up, and he said much better, there's no acidity, and focus is also better by 60%. So I'll tell you why I chose lac humana. So what is the important theme in this whole case? So can you see, since the starting you will get this, I got this impression of a person that he's a very intelligent one. He's not talking stupid stuff. Like he said, that I am interested in some intellectual stuff. He is a very intelligent person. He's talking very sensible. So he is intelligent, he's competitive, he is spiritual. He has immense interest in spirituality. Okay. Then work. So his work is very important. He wants to do important stuff. He doesn't want to do anything in life. And then he feels lonely, rejected, empty feeling. There's a lot of dilemma and confusion. So confusion whether I should do this or I should do that. So a lot of dilemma is there. So Riddhi, yes, it is like humanum because of the duality, because of the confusion. So two wills are there, you know, and you will see that constantly he's talking about two wills. He said, I have two personalities inside me. One is logical, one is irrational, illogical, completely nonsensical. He said, I'm more like an artist than a businessman, but I am into business. But I am doing a business like an artist. That also shows two wills. At one point he said, I always feel that I should do for my family, for society, and on a second thought, I am concerned about myself, my growth, my company, whether I want to do it or not. I don't want to do this, and on the second thought, I want to do it for my family's responsibility. And there is an issue of a hierarchy. What he said, I like communist and socialist society where everyone is equal and everyone can attain his own potential. So he doesn't like hierarchy. He said in MNCs, what they do, they give you a position, but they don't, like you to grow up to a certain position. And he was also bullied in school. He said, people used to mock at me. They have not given me the chocolates. I used to feel mocked at. And he talked about an equalism, like communism. You know what is communism or equalism? Where everything is distributed equally. So all the resources belongs to everyone in the society, to the community, and they can use it. It is not like a capitalist society. Okay, two wills. So he has this constant two thoughts about everything. And he's also very concerned about family and loved ones. So, and in the whole case, he was talking about images and the fears and everything, and delusion and emotions. So I felt it is a level 4 case, which is delusion case, and that's why I gave 1M. So he talks about minority. What he says, everyone won't understand what I am talking. Everyone, I don't talk to everyone. So I talk to minority people who can understand what I am talking or what I am going through. And then he talks about exploitation. He said, you know what MNCs do? They exploit you. In school, they used to exploit me. And what is exploitation? Exploitation is, upper lower, the caste system. Like he told me, very surprisingly, he told me that, from ancestral background, I belong to this washerman society. White, black, superior, inferior, capitalism, communism. So this is a story of exploitation. And whom else than human can understand what is exploitation? Average versus superior, society versus alone. So he was talking about whether I should be in the group with the company, working with people who are, who are talking very small. I don't like that, or whether I should be alone. And then he said, no energy, no passion. He feels pity about puppies, helpless people. And then what he likes in his hobbies is he loves to watch pandas. And what pandas do? They play. So playfulness is there, and playfulness is a very important theme of mammals. I will tell you later. He thinks about what society should do, this, that, etc. So we are actually, talking to a very intelligent, intellectual person who actually understands everything, every situation, but he is stuck in a dilemma. He's stuck in two wells, so he's not able to decide. So, what are lack humanum themes? Hierarchy, equalism, like I said, like communism, nothing yours, nothing personal, everything belongs to a society, versus, something belongs to you. Very concerned about the family and closed ones. He talks about minority. And opposite side, he started at a very young age for the family. He was very benevolent. He helped people. He helped his father. So bullying. He talked about bullying. What is bullying? So Dr. Shankaran gives a very nice example that when a person takes advantage of a weaker person, when a stronger one takes advantage of a weaker one, that's called bullying. Yeah, because we have it. We have the mobile you don't have. We have the resources you don't have. So in the childhood, also he used to feel, that they're mocking at me, they're laughing at me, they're bullying me. And then he said, I always think about, am I doing what is right or am I doing wrong? I should have made plan B. And then he said, you shouldn't have plan B. But I have this dilemma that I should have made plan B. He's intelligent. So mammals are always, because they are the most intelligent creatures on earth, like human being. In corporate situation, he talked. So and then he told that there are few things like he want to eat tangy spicy Chinese food, but whenever he eats that food he feels that his clarity goes away, and that's how he avoids it. He avoids company. So whenever there is avoidance and not an acceptance of the situation, accept and avoid and just move away, there is this miasm, psychosis. So whether it could be psychosis or ringworm, accepting and moving ahead or avoiding the situation. So the main theme of Lac Humanum is two wills. This is a constant dilemma of being highly spiritual and God-fearing and against the bouts of being unreligious and sinful or turmoil. Feel very, very remorseful. So they are guilty after having done something wrong. All the while doing it, I am unable to control myself. This is a theme of Lac Humanum. This is a direct quote of a prover I have taken from Dr. Shankaran's Proven's book. Also seek the power to control myself along with repentance. Obsessed about individuality versus group conformity. In a dilemma whether I should give more importance to my individuality and speak and question freely or keep quiet like the rest of the group. This is the dilemma of Lacuman. So Dr. Shankaran has given few characteristics or keywords which is there, like irritable and excited from trifles, sadness and weepings. Like he said, I used to weep, I used to cry a lot in the childhood, I still cry. Wept with an inability to express, no drive or enthusiasm. So work and rest is also one important theme of like human. Feeling that work is a routine and they want to do big things. They don't want to do small stuff, just like this guy. They have big plans in mind, but do not put them into practice. So feels that it is okay if I don't do them, wanted to break from work, wasn't happy with myself. Like all of us, what in the lockdown, what all we have done, initially we were on Netflix and Amazon Prime and like this, and later when we realized we have to work, it's not a holiday, we started working instead of no will. So there is always a dilemma whether I should go to work or I should party, I should think about myself or the society, like this. So these are all the proving symptoms of black human. The milk desire for tea aggravates, tea desire. So in this case, I got tea desires and chocolate desires for lassitude, lie down inclination to. So, though I have not solved this whole case with rubrics, but I took few rubrics. I thought about them later. So I'm just telling you what rubrics you can take. So domination of others aggravates. He said, I can't be dominated. I don't like people. I don't like people bossing around me. So that's why he left his first company. He left his second company because of the legal issues. And in the course of time, he said, I feel very helpless when people does these things, and anxiety about others, anxiety about the loved ones, and sometimes he doesn't feel anything, so that is unfeeling, and he wants to help others, so help others want to, and he cannot take injustice, just like in communism what he said, that I cannot support injustice, so injustice cannot support, and he is very competitive. So that is all about lack human. Okay. So I hope this case was is clear for you. And if you have any questions, you can ask me in the end. Let's jump to case two, if that is okay for you. Can anyone write in the chat box? Okay, I am not able to see anything. Yes. So this is a second case which has a primary infertility with PCOD. So this is a case of a 29 years old female, married life of 4 years. She was not able to conceive. She tried IUI 4 5 times. She tried IVF. She's a doctor herself. I'll tell you, she was very stressed about baby and diabetes. She also had diabetes from 3 years. Her anti-mullerian hormone AMH level was very low. Many cysts in the ovary, the big cyst, and in spite of taking all the hypoglycemics, her sugar, random sugar was between 250 to 280, sometimes 300. And when I asked about the problem, she said, I had a migraine, terrible pain with heaviness and pain in the eyes. She had dysmenorrhea. She used to take painkillers for that, dullness over face, and fear of snakes and dogs. And when I asked about her problem, she said, I'm very stressed about having a baby because family is creating a lot of pressure. Secondly, I also feel now that I should become a parent. My husband also have some expectations. Generally, I take hypoglycemics thrice a day. Still, the sugar remains 250 to 280. And her obstetrician said that, with diabetes, it is difficult to get pregnant. And that's why the IUI and IVF is failing. She had a lot of stress in her life. Her mother-in-law, she had problems with the in-laws. So she said, my in-laws compares me with the sister-in-law, especially the mother-in-law. And she said, she's fair, you're not fair, you're black, I'm not good looking, your skin is dull. Also, you're not able to produce the child, so you are a waste in our family. And then she started weeping. She says that my mother-in-law always hurts me by abusing. She has the habit of abuse. She's very bad. My husband also accepts that this mother-in-law cannot speak softly with me, with anyone, in fact. I asked, how does it feels to you? How does it affect you? So she said, it feels very insulting whenever she speaks about it. I belong to a very good family. My father is a collector. He's into a government job. My brother is a judge. And I always had the servants in my house. I maintained my standards of living. But these guys are only concerned about the looks and child, and their standard of living is just zero. So she compares me with the sister-in-law, but she has nothing in front of me. So my mother-in-law doesn't understand this. I love to wear new clothes, new accessories, makeup. My sister-in-law looks shit, but because she's fair, everyone feels that she's beautiful. And except my mother-in-law, no one says that I don't look good. Everyone says I look good. My mother-in-law only, have this problem. A lot of cystic acne is also coming. I'm educated. We don't think about all these. I was always an ambitious girl since my college days. I was very ambitious. I wanted to be a bureaucrat, but somehow I couldn't go there. I asked about her nature. She said, once I have given this public service commission exam and also got selected in mains exam. So, but after that, when my interview came, I dropped the idea of joining. And I asked why. So she said, I wanted to live with the family. Of course, I wanted a job, but that time only I got married when my interview was awaiting. So I thought, right now I have to make a family. Abhi family nahi banao to kab? When will I, make my family? So I left that opportunity. Generally, I'm a caring person. I need my own space. I don't like interference. I live alone here and my husband is away. So he's in another city. And this also bothers me a lot. Then she says that I take care of my health, doctor, but still these things are happening. I go for a walk, I don't do binge eating, all the precautions I'm following. But I love my freedom. I don't like people telling me this you should do, that you should do. They shouldn't, boss me. If someone tries to dominate me, I can't take that. My mother-in-law, she always tries to overpower me. She treats me like a normal stereotype, typical Bahu of Indian society, the daughter-in-law. Okay, the normal stereotype daughter-in-law. And I saw that she compares me with these uneducated morons. So she says, my sister-in-law is not that educated like me. I'm not like them. There's huge difference between me and her. And they have got a person like me, a daughter-in-law like me, and still they don't value me. But see, my nature is like this only. Since childhood, my parents has allowed me to stay alone. I had my personal room, and I never allowed even my mom or my sister to enter into my room. That was my space. यहाँ पे, like here in her own like in-laws house, everybody is invading my space. They just just come and sit there and come there very frequently. I don't like that. My mother-in-law gives me advice day and night. She intrudes my privacy, and I don't have any privacy. I don't like that at all. Also, I'm a cleanliness freak. I love clean house, and they are not like this. So, mother-in-law is not that fond of cleanliness, and she's very much. So everything should be at proper place. I clean my home myself. At my workplace, also, I take special measures of hygiene. We are doctors. We understand that. So I asked her about her childhood. So she said, my youngest sister in my siblings, but I was the youngest sister in my siblings, but I never allowed anyone to enter my room. Though I was the youngest one in the family, I was very fastidious. And then I was very active in badminton. I used to love sports, badminton, tennis, football, chess. I used to play everything. Overall, I was very good. I used to take part in relay races also. I loved running, jogging. So she's a sporty person. She loves sport. And otherwise, in my childhood, I was very privileged child because my father is an elite class person. So he has provided everything I wanted. I was a boss of my house. As a child, I was very independent. Like I was not like other kids who will always need their parents. I used to, survive without my mom. I was okay. And my observation about this woman was that she was very smart, very ambitious, and a very strong person. Okay, opinionated, I would say. She cannot take someone as a boss. She cannot tolerate comparison, but at the same time, can you see she herself is very competitive and she compares everything with others. Though she cannot take it, she needs her own freedom and independence. And the very important thing which she talked about is space. So she said, being the youngest child in my family, still, I never allowed anyone to enter my room. I used to clean it myself. and she has this high sexuality because she said, I love makeup, I love wearing clothes, and I love all these things. And she is very fastidious. So we needed a remedy which is independent, needs her own freedom, doesn't like interference at all, very competitive, and one who is highly sexual but need of the family. The motherhood is very important theme of this remedy, and also it should have the fastidious, as this is also very important for our patient. So can you suggest any remedy for her? Because as you have seen, she is, it's a, okay, so Nitin is saying cat theme like Caprinum Vaishnavi. Okay. Anything else? Cat. Okay. Swazi. Okay. Kotari, you are saying mollusk, lion, Bhavna Jain felinum, Lactoprinum. Very nice. Very nice. So Lactoprinum, Lactoprinum could be a mollusk also. Very nice. So thank you so much for all the suggestions. So I'll tell you what I gave. So this is a remedy which has a main theme of personal space and need of space and individuality. So they are not dependent, they are independent. So you, in mammals remedies, you will see a lot of talk about dependence and independence. So that's the main theme of the remedies. So Kingdom is of course animal because she's constantly talking about me, my mother-in-law, my other family members. So me versus you is the theme. Sub Kingdom is of course mammals because the motherhood, the family care, and communication is there. And of course, the few people are right. Class Pelidy, so remedy was lac felinum. So I give lac felinum for her because I'll tell you what are the themes of lac felinum. So the cats are very competitive. They are extremely ambitious. So as she said, I'm an ambitious girl. Since childhood, I was always ambitious. But I was very surprised when she said, when she was selected for an interview of Public Service Commission, and she could have got a very good job, a very good position at bureaucracy, but she left that because of her marriage was happening on that time and she wanted to make a family. So though she's ambitious, she's not a big cat. So it's not a big cat because she left that job. She likes a company but a small group, not a huge group. Space is a very important thing. Looks is very important to her. She said, I have dark circles, I have dull skin, and dullness of face was one of the chief complaint in her case. She's smart, she's jealous, and she has a very, very strong opinion about everything. Authoritative. Own freedom is very important. Like she said, I was the boss of my family, and she wants child very badly. She loves family, loves to talk, loves makeup. She's very fond of clothes. She's very sporty. She said, she used to play badminton, tennis, chess, and I guess one more sport. So that thrill of winning was there. She spoke profoundly about the sports and her winning thrill. Cleanliness, tidiness, aggression was there. She said, I used to get very angry at my mother-in-law. So cat is the only animal that exercises its own role. You know, you can have a pet cat and pet dog, and you will see the difference. The cat will come to you whenever she wants to come to you, and a dog you can pet anytime. So she lives in domestication, the cat, on its own terms. Though she is domesticated, but she has her own terms. It is only animal which decides for itself that it can be petted or not. They harp about their independence. So, like she said, in childhood also, I was a very independent person. I didn't want my mom every time. I was okay without her. The need for freedom and being able to make their own choices is very important. Still, they have a feeling of being small and dependent. They do not have great ambitions, just like big cats. She said, I'm ambitious. Her ambition was also big, but she left it just because of the family. So that's how I differentiated from big cat and small cat. So I did not prescribe lion or tiger to her. So in cats, in small domesticated cats, their own small space, they need their freedom and independence to make their decision, but in a boundary. So in a small space, they need their independence. They're extremely fond of cleanliness. You must have seen a cat who's always licking herself to clean. So trying to find own identity within the boundary of confinement. It is the main theme of the cat. Clear views or choices, strong and competitive people, and independent with strong opinion. So you can compare or think about row 3 or row 5 minerals here in such cases. These are all cats we have in homeopathy. We have a lot of remedies from big cats and small cat also. So I'll tell you, after a month, her mood was much better. Menses also came normally, though she had PCOD, so she couldn't. Her menstruation was very much irregular. Dysmenorrhea was not there, and with the same remedies that hypoglycemics and this remedy which I have given, her random blood sugar came to 200. So she was very much eager to conceive, so because of that, and also I was also concerned about the sugar levels, so I gave her uranium nitricum 4x 2 doses only in between to lower down the sugar. And after 2 months, overall she was much better. Sugar was under control. Hypoglycemics reduced to twice a day from thrice a day.
Teacher, hi.
And after 4 months, her pregnancy became positive. She could conceive, and on 22 June last year, we spoke over phone. She was 8 months pregnant, and stopped the remedy within 5 months. On 23rd July, she delivered a baby boy through a Caesar section, and this you can write down. She wrote an email to me that I was struggling for conception, and I was diabetic and everything, and she could conceive only with homeopathy, though she's a allopathic doctor. Okay, you can just write here that I'm an MBBS doctor. She's not only MBBS, she's a MS gynae. Okay, so follow up after a year, I'll tell you. No complaints after first dose, perfectly all right. Though I will tell you, I have repeated doses every month for 3 months. So I have given 3 doses of 1 of lactalina. So I'll tell you in what type of cases, which type of cases I prescribe lactalina. So I prescribe Lactal to patients who are very self-dependent and decisive, especially in little children. When I see, that they have clear choices or they give clear answers and they don't, need their parents to do everything. That's a great clue for prescribing Lactal, because it's not like Baraita Cup that they would look at their mom or dad and they say, you only talk on my behalf. They are very clear in their choices. They are not talkative, but they are not shy also. So, as much as needed. So, they would talk only if it is needed. Need of space, own space is very important issue for them. I have prescribed this remedy often in athletes which has put strong footwork. So artists just like dancers, or in this case, you can see she was very sporty. And I had one case, another case I'll tell you. And in that case, also, mother told me this was a case of a young female who was, I guess, 6 or 7 years old, and she said, my daughter never fell down. She used to jump from sofas and from beds and from anywhere, but she would never fall down. Her legs are very, very strong. So that was a very great tip for me. Okay, so guys, these are two cases. One I shared with you. The first one was of lactulinum, human milk, and second was of lactulinum, which was cat's milk. So mammals, I'll tell you, what are the themes of mammals? So mammals are like treasure box. They need to have groups. So main theme of a mammal is need to belong to a group. And there are different types of groups. So you can have a vivacious group, a loud group, a talkative group, an expressive group, a reserved group. You can just differentiate the mammals between. There are many types of differentiation. So you can differentiate like prey mammals and predator mammals. You can differentiate from how they hunt, how they what is the defense mechanism with them, or you can have different types of groups like this. So we need to prove all the mammals, like Kent had said this. Milk is the beginning of life. It is used in first year of life. So it is a very, very important remedy or remedies. They know how to live in a group. So reason one can domesticate a mammal is that they form a bond. They produce babies and then they live with them. So they can live in a group. And you will see even in solitary mammals, if it is not a group, it's a mother and child relationship. So motherhood is also a very important theme of mammals. Like in a tiger and a lion, you will see they are very solitary, but still they will have a mother and child relationship. So constant need for group, need to belong is the main thing. So cats, bears, whales, bats, there are different types of mammals. Like I said, you can differentiate. So we have aerial mammals, we have water mammals, land mammals, and they all live in a group. They always have this mother and child relationship if they are solitary. For first few years, child lives with the mother, and then he gets separated. Need to be liked by the group. So this is also an important theme. Just like in first case, when this guy said, that they don't value me. What he meant was they don't appreciate me. So need for appreciation, need to get noticed. What I am doing, what I am not doing. He said, no, when I talk to women, I really get conscious. I feel that whether they're approving me or not. So approval, getting noticed, getting liked is very important for mammals. You are submissive to the group. Either you're submissive or you're dominating. So you submit to the group because there are few things which the group will take care of. Like if you submit to the group, you will get the security. That's how they make herds, packs, and like this. So need to take care of the group. So if you are submitting to a group, you have to take care of the group also. And also they have problems with the group. So group is very important, but group might hurt them. Group might like them, love them, hurt them. There may be an array of expressions. They deal with all these issues. So main issues are, of course, they belong to a group. Who you are in the group? Who are you? Who dominates you, who submits to you, and whom you will submit. So this will tell you the which type of mammal or which mammal you have to prescribe. So you have to ask yourself, who is this person in the group? Who is dominating him? Who he is submitting to, or whom he will submit. So identity would be an issue. Like I said, in the third row, you can differentiate from the third row minerals. So they share, they talk. Sharing, communication is also a very important theme of mammals because they are intelligent. They are able to share. So they would tell you that this is me, this is my position. So what is the position of a mammal in a group? Somebody, anybody, or what, or nobody, whatever. So mammals have good amount of self-esteem. They get security from the group. So you will see in all the mammals, you will see, this is how you can differentiate from the mollusks. Mollusks doesn't have that much self-esteem. Mammals will have. They get security from the group, so they would talk about the security, the family, like the first and second case. Both the cases they were talking about the family issues, feeling of being seen, being neglected, and desire to be heard. Or they have feeling, why can't people listen to me? Why can't people appreciate me? Why can't people share with me? Need of appreciation is too much. That's how you can see, if you see all the predator animals, you will see that lachesis is also a predator, which is from reptile, and tiger is also a predator. But need of appreciation and need to be heard is more in the tiger than in lachesis. Lachesis is more hidden because their security is in being hidden. But for mammal, it is very important. They are open. Both are powerful, both are king predators, and both are like sixth throw. But you can just differentiate from groupism and need to belong to a group. So simple. I always give this example that you can find a venomous snake in your backyard, but you cannot find a tiger because you will see a tiger. You might miss a snake, but you won't miss a tiger. So this is a theme of being appreciated, being seen. In Australia also, they have huge backyards, and they can find a snake. Insects are hidden. In villages also in India, you will see, हमारे घर से सांप निकला. We have found a snake in our house. So they are very close to human. With mammals, you can see this goat and cow and sheep. They can't be hidden. They won't go unnoticed. You will notice them. So they will not go unnoticed. This is a theme of being noticed and appreciated. So these are all the mammals we have. So these are the keywords by Dr. Shankaran: herd, community, family, society, caste, clan, friend circle. They would talk about social animal. Like in first case, this guy was talking about social hierarchy. He said, there is social hierarchy, which I don't like, but at the end it works. So belong to a group, included. And what he said, I always feel secluded, excluded, lonely, excluded and expelled. And then when because nobody talks to him, and what he said, I'm a racist because these Telugu people, they are dominated. So they feel, either being dominated or they would dominate someone. Like in the second case, this lady, she said, I was always dominated and I cannot handle someone bossing around me. Safe in a group. So main theme of the mammals is independence versus dependence conflict. Because most of the mammals live in the groups, they have constant dilemma, constant thinking between needing the group and getting the freedom if they leave the group. Group gives them sense of security, but the cost of this is they have to submit to the hierarchy. That's their problem. So relationships are also very important. Just like salts, you will see a lot of relationship problems, and you can get confused that whether we should prescribe natrum phos or natrum mur, or all the salts, or alumina silicata or alumina, something like that. But they live in a group, so obviously they will have a relationship problems. Relationships are very important for them, but here you will see very complex hierarchy that is not there in salts. In salts, you will see only one to one or one to two relationship. So that's not that complex. Care, nurture, love are very important factors. They have very strong maternal instinct because mother provides nourishment through breast milk. So in all the mammals, because they have mamma, so they will have problems related to mamma and related to breast. So if you will see, most of the mammals will have tenderness of the breast before or after menses. That's a very common symptom which you will get in mammal cases. Also, the guides and nurtures the kid up to a certain age. So learning, sharing, and learning is also a very important theme of mammals. And communication also. So communication is also an important theme. Living together, hunting together, courtships, they share love and care, feelings through communication. So there is a strong hierarchy. They are very territorial. So they would talk about home. Home is a very important theme because many mammals, make their houses by themselves. Home is not a building for them. It's more like a safe place to go when they feel vulnerable. So I will tell you that in mammals and birds, you will see a lot of home thing will come up. Home keyword. So in birds, home is more a artistic house where, of course, you feel safe. But the home for birds is a art piece, and home for mammals is a space where they can hide themselves and they can feel safe. That's how you can differentiate. Need a lot of parental care, or they provide extreme parental care to the young ones, like the second case. Many issues are interlinked, not simple like minerals. Mineral issues are simple actually. So also one can see the proper attack and defense mechanism in higher order mammals because they are one of the most evolved animals on earth. So one theme is intelligence, but that's more evident in higher mammals like horses, lion, and human, etc. Common lac remedies, you must have seen Lacuninum, Caprinum, Delphinum, Equinum, which is horse milk, Felinum, Humanum, Llama, Loxodonta, which is African elephant's milk, Lac lupinum, Maternum is also a mother's milk. Like correct is a rabbit's milk, Defloratum, Suinum, pig's milk, and vaccinum. So I will share with you few important indications of few remedies from mammals. I hope it will be helpful for your practice. So lac equinum is one of my favorite mammal, which is very important. So it's a large prey mammal. Horse is a large prey, and he has the feeling of large prey. You know, so there is a strong theme of dependence and independence. But horse is a performer, so performance, power, strength, and they have all the big challenges in their life. So big challenges in will be there. So they want to be, they desire to be best in their in every way they do. High self-esteem. You will see in horse cases, you will see a lot of high self-esteem. They are very confident and target-oriented people. Occasionally they resist or fight back, but they are generally, submissive. Desire to please, they have a lot of desire to please. They are beautiful mammals. Restricted and freedom are two very important words. They are very sociable, likes to party, just like lac humanum. Lac humanum will also have theme of likes to party and going, so because they are sociable, physically strong, extraordinary skill and precision. That's the main theme of lac equinum. If we see sheep, lack ovis is the remedy. So they are, sheep's meaning, the word meaning is weak and timid. So timidity you will see. They don't have defense strategy. They're very weak. In fact, the weakest. Being dominated, taken advantage, being meekest, easily go unnoticed, totally defenseless. They would feel crowded, tripped, and overwhelmed, and they would also feel helpless. If you see goat, like Defloritum, which belongs to a same subgroup of sheep, so lac def and lac ovis, which is sheep and goat, they come very close. But in lac def, you will see a lot of resentment, which is not there in sheep because that's the meekest one. Cannot fight. It doesn't have voice. They feel that they don't have voice. Small feeling. They are vulnerable, but they feel that, because I'm vulnerable, I need to be obedient. They have the feeling of crushed, mutilated, killed, easily destroyed. They are outgoing, adventurous, and greater self-esteem than a sheep. But it's also very weak. So you will see a common theme in both of the remedies is they like green color. They would really talk about greenery and the green color and everything like that. Like leoninum, which is a lion's milk, that's the only cat living in a group. You will see most of the cats are solitary. They are solitary. Even the lacfelinum, that's a solitary mammal. But leoninum is a cat which lives in a group. So they need for company. They love group and followers of them. And they are bossy, but they're charmingly bossy. So they are very attractive. At times they become aggressive. They're good leaders with mothering quality. They're very authoritative and good at getting work done. So if you want to hire someone for your office or something, Latleoninum will be a good choice. So they are extremely competitive. They do not tolerate contradiction. Powerful but lazy individuals love to throw parties as they love group and also attention. Protective, must win, hindered, and confident are the keywords of lion. So as Ken said that all the milks should be potentized. They are most excellent remedies. They are animal products and foods of early animal life and therefore correspond to the innermost physical nature. So he has given this advice that we should potentize all the milks available, and they are very very important remedies. So I hope this was clear. If you have any queries, I would love to solve them. Um, okay.
Yeah, that was excellent, Dr. Yamini. That was,
Thank you, Mr. Karthik.
yeah.
So, is there any question? I will take them.
What is the
Okay.
best book to read? for lac remedies?
Okay. What else?
What is the best book to read to learn about
Best book
lac?
to read these medicines. Okay. So I will suggest you for mammals. You can read Dr. Bhavishya Joshi's book. Its name is Mammals. And also, you can find out some literature in different types of programs. Like I use Synergy program. So in that, you will see a lot of mammals. Also, uh, um, there is Massimo Mangialavori's book for mammals. So that you can refer to. And Provings. From Provings, there is a book from Dr. Shankaran known as Provings. In that, you will see lac humanum proving for lac humanum. So you will get, data a little not at one place. So you'll have to refer to many things. Okay, why not this case are plant and animal remedies? So Pooja, you're asking why not this cases are plant and animal remedies. So because these are animal cases, because they have given this whole theme of me versus others, and they were competitive, and I couldn't see any sensitivity like plants, and any self introspection like minerals, or a theme of I would say salts. I couldn't see that. That's why. Thank you so much. So if you
Uh,
have any questions related to mammals or related to the presentation, you can write down.
the-
So,
Yes.
Mr. Karthik,
We
this is a
should we should
question for
have a
you.
series.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
So there
should
is
have
so
a
much.
series of mammal remedies.
Yeah,
We will plan on that. We will definitely plan on that.
yeah. Sure. So we have a lot of mammal remedies. I chose only, seven. I guess I discussed seven of them, six or seven. So those who which are really helpful and which are prominent in practice. But of course, there are many mammal remedies which you can prescribe, and they give. I mean, they are very good. Like like I will tell you about one remedy which is Rattus rattus, which I recently started using, and it's a very good remedy. It's a rat. It's prepared from rat blood. It's not a milk remedy. It's a blood remedy, but it comes from mammals. So, Dr. Rajeshwar, very important question you have asked. What is the difference between lac humanum and lac maternum? So, thank you for this question. I forgot to mention that. So, lac humanum and lac maternum, actually, when they did a proving of lac maternum, they took milk from six mothers, six different mothers. It was human milk. And when they did a proving of lac humanum, it is milk of only one woman. So, that's the only difference, nothing else. So you can prescribe any one of the remedies. There is no much difference between the symptomatology of both of them.
Yeah, just to tell you that this is being recorded and all our webinars, whatever we've done till now, you can see them at www.ilovehomeopathy.com/webinars.
Yes.
Yeah, so is there anybody else who'd like to ask Dr. Yamini? Any questions, any doubts? Because after this, we're going to start a series of lac remedies, and you won't get this chance to ask her about this.
Okay.
What about
So
you, Dr. Robin? Robin Pollock, are you there? Okay, so yeah, we had a guest, we had an attendee here, Robin Pollock, who's used lac remedies, and she had very good things to say about it. Well, but she's left, so
okay.
So uranium, how was it used? There's Dr. Farida who's asking.
Yeah, so Dr. Farida, uranium nitricum 4x I have used. So whenever I will tell you when I use it. So whenever there is a very high blood sugar and it is not controlled, when I am not able to control it with the constitutional remedy or it is not getting controlled with the allopathic remedies, then I think about using it. Because it has an indication, you can see it in Boric or some other book, that uranium nitricum lowers the sugar very quickly. So I gave only 2 doses because this lady was on hypoglycemics and also on some 25 units of insulin OD, and that was also not helping her. And though after giving my remedy, it lowered down the sugar from 300 to 200 as an average, but still it was not going below 200. And she was very concerned about getting pregnant. So I gave 2 doses, and after 2 doses, it went down. So it was quite controlled. She stopped insulin and lowered the hypoglycemics to only twice a day, which was almost half of what she was taking before. So I do this type of uh, use of uranium nitricum sometimes when I'm not able to control it through the constitutional one.
There's another one from Dr. Sabarish.
Mhm.
Does mammal remedies work much faster than salt remedies?
I would say the right remedy works faster than any other remedy. Not like that mammal remedies work faster than the salt remedies, not like that. But of course, every remedy has its own pace. That I agrees to, because few salts, they are the slow ones. They form bonds slowly, they break bonds slowly, and they act slowly like this because it's a nature of the remedy or it's a nature of a patient. So like I will tell you, if you see a tiger patient, the pathology will be very deep, or the pace of the patient will be very high, speedy, and similarly, the space which you want in the remedy will be also, higher. So like this.
How do you differentiate mammal remedies with row 3? Row 3?
Not all mammal remedies belong to row 3. So I will tell you the different mammals at different stages. Or you will see, like I said in the starting, that you can differentiate the mammals in, you can categorize them in prey mammals, predator mammals, the group mammals, the solitary mammals, and like this. You can have your own groups to understand it in a better way. So few mammal remedies correspond with the row 3 mineral remedies. They are the small mammals like sheep, goat, dog, and cat, the domesticated cat. So you can differentiate. You will see all the, in second case, I would say. She was talking about my family, my mother-in-law is doing this, they are not appreciating me. So love, care, nurturing is there, family comes there, identity crisis is there. So you will see a lot of mammals have all these themes, but not all. So you will have like horse and donkey. So horse and donkey can correspond to row 5 minerals. You can see a lot of urgentum qualities in horse, the performance, the thrill of winning and doing creative things and like this. And okay, so Nitin is asking, can you tell which mammal is similar to which plant remedy or mineral remedy? Few examples. So I have given that example only. That horse, horse can be similar with argentum or all the row 5 minerals. Ruthenium. It looks more like ruthenium, not like argentum, but I would say ruthenium or rhodium or palladium. Um, or if you see lacumanum, you will see a lot of qualities of aurum, row 6 mineral, plant remedies. So plant I am not remembering right now. So I have to think about it.
Dr. Sabrish wants to know how would you identify the person needs a lac remedy or a mammal remedy? I mean,
How I
how would
identify
you,
one.
yeah,
So once you decide a kingdom, once you know that it is a animal kingdom, then you have to differentiate between 7 or 8 large groups. So I told you in the last all the qualities of mammals. So when there is a theme of belonging to a group or need of a group, or they have a problem with relationship, and they have a problem with whether I should do for myself or whether I should do for group, and communication theme is there, then it is a mammal case. You should have all the qualities of mammals, which
right.
I already spoke about.
Okay, just something to say about Dr. Sabrish is he did his B Farm with me. He was my junior. Now he's become a doctor. He's done his
Okay.
BHMS, and
Okay.
he's been attending quite a few of our webinars.
Okay. Oh,
Anything
that's
else,
nice to
Dr.
know, Dr.
Sabrish?
Sabrish.
Yeah. Okay, is there anything else people would like to
Hello.
ask? Yeah,
Yeah,
hello.
yeah.
Yes, Dr. Sabrish.
Yes, we can hear you, Sabrish.
I
You
guess
got
he's
something?
mute.
Is he on mute? Mm, So if there's nothing else, we can close this seminar, which will just set the stage for the next set of seminars.
Yes, yes.
Uh, yeah. So we're just going to shut this door so we can open another few doors later on. Uh,
Definitely. Yes.
so anyway, I'd like to thank Dr. Yamini for taking the time and sharing her knowledge, because this is just a little bit of knowledge that she shared. She's got so much more. So we hope she will be with us on many more sessions. And yeah, also like to thank each and every attendee who came, and I hope you left with some information which can make you a much better doctor than you were before you came in. And that's about it. And we hope to see you in our forthcoming webinars. So with this, we'll sign off. All right, Dr. Yamini, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Karthik, and thank you, Bahula Labs, and thank you all the participants for attending and asking the questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Good night.